Good morning. So, the Signum hotswap board, Laxum, has come in. And it looks really good. The footprints all fit. I need to do some testing on it. Only one thing I thought was a little odd. Some of the... Uh, so, the board can be set up in two different config... this, bleh. The footprints support hot swaps, cherry hot swaps, in a southward position. They support regular cherry Emacs, just soldering into place, in a northward position. And they support the low profile, the Kale low profile switches in a normal. Although I think the Kales are supposed to have the LEDs on top officially. I'm not sure. Either way, it supports that position, and those keycaps can be flipped around. So the footprint supports those three options. The board uses those footprints with an overlay so that they can support a grid layout or a vertically staggered layout. That's a 1/8 U offset with pinky and outer pinky at the same height. It does have a number row, and just the proportions of the board are different. The two halves are a bit more spread out. Visually, it looks more like the Signum 3.0. So it's a new 3.1 essentially. The hot swaps and everything. The one thing I've found that's a bit odd is for hot swap mounting in certain positions. So if I have a single position mount, like the switch can only go in one position, and it's a hot swap, it's still really solid. It locks in pretty well. But if I have the stacked 1/8 U offset two position switch footprints, and you put it in the bottom one, then there's a little bit of tilting, and I'm not sure if it's enough to be a problem, but I'll find out. So I'm going to do some testing on it. That said, like, adding a little bit more friction to it somehow, and I'm not sure if I can like tighten up that footprint a little bit, but I think there's some way to make it a little bit easier while still supporting all the hot swap and cherry MX and low profile. So I'll see. I'll get back to you all. But it looks really nice and white. Actually makes it a lot harder to visually track all the traces and inspect the board. It does look really nice. The other thing is, if the switches, even if the hot swap mount, the lower position switch is a little wobbly toward the upward direction, the board can support a plate. So that's what matters. Right. Board can support a plate. Yeah, I'm gonna have a fun time digging into that. I still have OpenSCAD to fight with about that. I'm not sure which is the best way to do it. Obviously, OpenSCAD would be a good way to set it up, but I'm also not sure the best way to take a KiCad file. My plans, at least, are to be able to take a KiCad file with switch positions laid out, and a board. A board edge cut layer, and run that through probably Vim, and get the output out of it. And I mean, Vim, it's gonna be Vim, because I had a recent experience where I was editing a large file and on Emacs, and ran into slowdowns. Not several hundred millisecond slowdowns, but like dozens of seconds, like almost a minute, for a 1 meg text file with a few transformations on it. And it's it's times like those that you realize that Emacs really does lack a good text editor. But keeping in mind that I was using Vim as, or I'm sorry, using Evil as a basically an abstraction layer for Emacs, for what Emacs is doing, I said, well, obviously Emacs has its own native text editing tools and shortcuts and things like that. So why don't I use one of the natively, you know, elisp C compiled functions and do like a find and replace and test it out? And it was still slow, slow, dozens of seconds slow. And I popped open a Vim session, original Vim, and it was instant. And open, milliseconds. And then neovim was even faster. So I started doing more complicated ones, and it's just there's no comparison as far as text editing goes. By the end of it, I was so annoyed with Emacs, because this is something I used to do professionally, doing the ETL process where I take giant text files and do modifications across them. And this was not something. After I stopped doing that job, I switched to Emacs, and I have not used Emacs to do that same kind of ETL process. And it's obvious that I haven't, because it does not perform. I would much rather, and have in many cases, taken the contents of the buffer, dumped it into Vim, done my text transform, and then popped it back into the buffer. Like that's the plan. The plan is to do that. The plan is to. It's very bothersome. But also, I should couch that. The way I was doing that text transform was on a Windows box, so Emacs and ostensibly Vim, maybe. Vim's probably more optimized for it. I think if you try to download Emacs for Windows and install it on a proprietary operating system, there's like a picture of Richard Stallman crying with a single tear coming down his cheek. It says there's like a little like a heartfelt message of like why you shouldn't do this with prey hands. But I did it, and knowing that the idea that it's not that performant is kind of obvious, I guess. So I might have to test it out on another system. And hey presto, what better system to test it out on than my new Ryzen 5 system? So I got that. I got parts in for that this weekend and got it set up, and I'm gonna do a couple stress tests on it. But it's a 5600G, so integrated graphics. I don't have to worry about a graphics card. With the crazy prices nowadays. And then after that, with an upgrade path, obviously, and with that box, with just that motherboard and CPU combo, I can get 3 displays out of it. So that's pretty neat. I haven't tested the 3rd display yet, but what I had researched online indicated that it was okay or possible. So that'll be pretty neat. But also, it's still what few benchmarks I have run have put it at about 10 times, just under 10 times faster, which is actually what the passmark estimated my previous CPU, the Athlon 2, the AMD Athlon 2, at, as compared to this 5600G. So that seems to be working all right. I did install several tools, figuring out what my software suite is, what I actually work with, and do installed Emacs, and I mean that was noticeably faster. And I guess my work PC and my original home PC, the Athlon 2, are kind of in the same generation. So when I had an experience with Emacs at home and had that same experience, about the same amount of time for compilation and downloading all the stuff and running my .emacs file to get everything set up the first time, I was kind of like, oh, this is probably just Emacs being slow. But it is very noticeably faster on the Ryzen. So it's that, which is kind of what you expect. You know, you don't really expect the software to be optimized for architectures or generations, but this is raw CPU power, raw computing power being thrown at it, which is just fine apparently. So Emacs is that kind of program where it just it spreads itself all out, and there's so many layers of things going on that throwing more CPU cycles at it has a measurable improvement. Which does mean it's you know, at least somewhat optimized for threading. So I don't know. It was a it was a positive experience, and Minecraft. You know, that Minecraft though. I am. I don't know. I would like to not say this, but I did get a little bit of a woo feeling when I turned around in Minecraft, and you know, I set it to a creative mode and flew up in the air and set the chunk rendering distance to maximum, and just kind of flew through the air and put on the elytra and then the fireworks, and then just soared through the air. It's just that was something else. That was nice, and everything, you know, being responsive and performing and just impressive. And I haven't done a thing to it, so it's straight out of the box. So that was something. That was cool. That was neat. But that was kind of just to test things out. I'm actually not playing video games at all this month. We have done no TV months in the past, and you know, TV means any type of web TV streaming service we might have signed up for, which is just pretty limited anyways, and DVDs we might have. So it's been different. I didn't watch really a lot of TV, and usually when these events happen, they're mainly for the kids, but the Lord usually squeezes in something for my wife and myself. And this month it is no video games of any kind. So I've been adjusting pretty well. You know, it's any kind of challenge like that, you need a week or two to figure out what it is you're gonna do, and there's more work getting done, more I don't want to say like nagging projects, but like things come up, and then I'm like, well, why don't I just do it now? You know, it's like, sure. So it's been interesting and kind of productive, and it just makes me kind of think differently about my time. And you know, if you want to unwind or something like that, you're doing something else. Figure out a different way to unwind. Hair looks weird. So Laxum, gonna be cool. I'm excited for that. It did look really cool. That was nice. I'll add a picture to the description, I guess. Yeah.